In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his servant and messenger. I would like to greet you all with the greeting words of peace. We say it in the original tongue of Arabic, Assalamu alaikum. For those who don't know, that just means peace be unto you. The topic for today is putting money above the things that really matter. And this is a critical topic, especially for us as men in this world today. You see it everywhere. We get the money, what we do? We post it, we put the grills on our mouths, we put the money over our ears, we put the money on our legs. Y'all know what we do. We do it all, man. But this is really destroying us as black men because we're trying to use money to take the place of what's valuable. And after a while, we allow the money to make us sick in our heads. And because we're sick in our heads, our thoughts get sick. And when our thoughts get sick, so do our actions. And so it gets us to a point where we become attached with the money as we should be with what's valuable in life. And once we reach that point, that's when we start to see some chastisement. And when this happens, some may say, everyone's different. Some may say the universe ain't doing me well. Some may say, man, God is punishing me. But look, I'm going to point this out and I'm going to leave this alone because this is not why I'm on this live. Have you noticed that every time someone puts money above what's important, they're always left unhappy? In some way, they may have it all, but they seem unhappy. It may appear to, us on the outside that they're living the life, but when you listen to them say in their podcasts and in their songs that the karma came when they got the money and the fame, where does that come from? Have y'all noticed that? This is where that trend of unhappy celebrities come. So who is behind the scenes making that happen? Who is enforcing and controlling that chastisement? Why is it that when the person who is intentionally being chastised for doing wrong, why is it that when they start doing right, the chastisement starts to go away? Who's controlling that? I'll leave that up to y'all to decide. I'm not here to try to, do anything like that, bring you, that's not what I'm here for. You can decide. But I wanted you to just think about that and ask yourself, is it just a coincidence? And is it really someone behind the scenes doing something? Okay, so I'll leave that up to you all to decide, but let's move on. So what do we learn from this punishment and unfulfillment, this punishment of unfulfillment and unhappiness? Typically, we learn through that chastisement that material things won't last. Material things won't last, but good character will. Once we achieve success in the material world, our hearts and intentions need to be on lock. And I gotta say that. Because if they change, and most importantly, if we begin to see ourselves stray away or forget who gave it to us in the first place, the moment we achieve success in this world and put that success over what's important, we will be chastised through circumstances and lose everything. And again, this isn't new. I know y'all see this going on. But it's also that we can be reminded of who blessed us to begin with. And that's what's more important. Because I know you see it happening everywhere. You see people losing everything. But you need to also look for why it's happening too. So we're supposed to be reminded of who blessed us in the first place. This has happened many, many times to people, as I said, and this is why you see people post countless reels on Instagram and clips on how character is more important than money. That's why we see countless videos and countless shorts of people who've grown up wanting to have all the fame and all the money and later saying, yeah, it's not what it shaped up to be. That's why all that happens. So I know some of us don't believe in God. I'm not going to push what I believe on other people. And, some of us aren't what we call religious, but I want you to listen for the principle in this verse that I'm getting ready to share with you. Again, you ain't got to be religious to get it, so you ain't got to plug your ears, anything like that. Listen to this verse in the Bible. When we look at Proverbs chapter 11, verse 28, it says, whoever trusts in his riches will fall. Not maybe, but will fall. But the righteous will flourish like a green leaf. That I feel like it's pretty clear, but hopefully you all understand that. Wouldn't you say that's facts though? Because it is facts. Straight up, it really is facts. But how about this one, just in case you didn't get that one? This is why the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said in Study Guide 1, page 15, that power has a way of making you forget. I'll say that one more time. Power has a way of making you forget. And in that same breath, he went on to say, you that lust for money, you that have it, you that have some of these things that most of us strive for, once you have it and people admire you, there is a tendency to forget who it is that you are dependent upon. When you forget, you lose something. That's the part I really want to drive home. When you forget, you lose something. End quote. And that's the minister. That's not my words. That's the minister. And so that's the consequence of putting money over what's important. We lose all that we have just so that we can be reminded of why we are where we are. And I know this is why you see some celebrities, they'll do certain things in particular to remind them of why they are where they are. They try their best not to forget. Why is that so? They do that because they know the moment they forget, someone, I'm not going to say who's doing it, it's for you, it's up to you, you can call them whatever you want, something's going to happen and they're going to be left unhappy. They're going to be left unfulfilled. We are going to be tried with what we love. And if money is what we love, we are going to be tried. We are really going to be tried. We will always be tried with what we love. We can't be tried with something we don't, necessarily care about. For example, if someone were to threaten to throw away some old trash in your room, is that even a threat to you? You're not going to feel tempted to interfere or do anything because you don't value that trash in your room. But if I threaten to scratch your brand new car, if I threaten to break your PS4, crush your PS5, take your iPhone out, bro, if I do that part, I'm going to see a whole new side of some of us on this line. Why though? Why would I see another side of you? Because I challenged you with something you love and value. So because you got challenged with something you love and value, that love and value gave birth to strong emotion. And those strong emotions promote strong thoughts, and those strong thoughts provoke strong actions. It's the same with our trials in life. We get tried with what we love so that, He's not just trying to bully us. He's doing that so that we can bring out a new and stronger side of ourselves that we may not have known about. That's the only way to improve. You can't improve just staying in your comfort zone. That's why you see all these people saying on Instagram, take yourself outside your comfort zone. Oh, if you want to get better at this, keep doing it. Take yourself outside your comfort zone. If I am socially anxious, I have social anxiety, there's no way that I can get better or relieve that anxiety by doing what? I have to go out and talk to some people. I can't just say, all right, I'm socially anxious, I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to lay back and just, maybe in a month for me just not doing nothing, maybe something will happen. Absolutely not. We have to be tried with what we love specifically, and from that, we will improve because that is the only way. Okay? When you work out in the gym, for example, in order to grow stronger muscles, you got to progressively overload your muscles by challenging them with either a stronger weight or a harder technique. Regardless of which one you use, it's going to be challenging. If you use the same weight or the same technique over time, your muscles adjust and it's no longer challenging your muscles. Therefore, they stop improving. So we can't grow without challenge. And I really hope I got that point across, because we can't grow without challenge and we can't grow without struggle. So if we're being tried with money, let's just use this as an opportunity to get stronger, brothers. Mistakes will be made, because trust me, mistakes are going to be made. But as long as we keep the course and not give up, we will eventually get what we want. All right, brothers, let's move on. So we know the importance of not putting money above or over more important things in life. And we also know the consequences of putting money on a pedestal above other things. So what are some ways we can stop and prevent chasing money in a negative way? Here's the practical side of what I'm doing. And just so y'all know, every single week on every single topic that I'm speaking on, I'm always going to end with practical steps. Because I don't know about y'all, but when I'm studying something and I hear somebody say, oh, you got to do this, I'm like, all right, how? And they just leave you. They just leave you right there. You gotta go find out yourself, which is nothing wrong with that. But in my opinion, if you're gonna point out a problem or point out an issue that some people may have, if you truly want to help, you gotta leave solutions, practical ones that they can take home and actually do it. Now it's up to them if they take it or not. You don't worry about that, but just get it out there. Because once you get it out there, you now can say, okay, I gave them an opportunity. So on to the practical steps. The first thing we have to do, brothers, in order to stop chasing money, if we are doing it or prevent doing it, is to reestablish and create priorities and focus on them. Now, I said reestablish or create because I know some of us, I don't know how old we are watching this, we may be young, so I got to put that in there. So in order to stop chasing money and really any other substance, it's vital that we reestablish what's important to us and set a few priorities. So I want you to sit down with a piece of paper and write down what's important to you or what you need to focus on right now more than anything. So I want you to list your top 3 priorities in order to just priorities that's important to you in your life, and just focus on those 3 things. Now, this ain't got to be all, grand. It could be finishing a project. It could be doing schoolwork. It could be breaking a bad habit. Whatever's important to you in your life that's meaningful, okay? Just notice I said meaningful. I don't mean level up on a game or something. Make it important, make it meaningful, make it purposeful. But anything that you need to focus on in your life, make it a priority. And if there are more than 3 things, of course, that's fine. You can write them all down, whatever makes you comfortable, as long as you can handle it. That's why I selected 3, because I know me, when I'm trying to, practically apply something, if I say, okay, I got 10 things at one time, most likely I'm going to struggle a lot more. And it's more important to just, focus on one thing. So if you're comfortable with more than 3 things, that's totally cool. I'm not pressing you. So praise be to Allah for that. So what I want you to do is, when you have time, make time, schedule time to work on those 3 things, because I'm trying my best to be realistic. I know some of you may have jobs. Even if you're self-employed, you still have to work. So look at your schedule, make time to focus on those priorities. And if that's what I want you to do. And so when you think about doing these things, like chasing money, I want you to remind yourself of your priorities. The only way to stop focusing on something that you want to stop focusing on is to redirect. You cannot just say, oh, I'm not focusing on that. Your brain's gonna say, okay, well, if we ain't focusing on that, we'll be focusing on it. Come on, we need to do something. So that's why changing your priorities is so important, because if you don't, then your brain's gonna be looking for something. You're gonna be looking for something else. So when you take something as big as money out of your life, and I'm not saying, stop, working, brothers, because we got to provide for our families. It's not what I mean. But it's important to set those priorities, because you got to redirect your focus. And that's really the main step that I want to drive home as far as practical steps. But, let me say this just real quick. We have to still provide for our wives, children, we still got to do that for our family as a whole. So I'm not saying striving to chase money is a bad thing. If you have to work 24/7 for your family to be okay, hey, that's a priority. So I'm not saying that, move money out of the way completely. Exactly, Sister Kim. Balance. You got to, keep it balanced. So number 2, the second practical step is we've got to analyze our lives and work to discover the reason why we have this unfulfilled void inside. So whenever we feel the need to chase, perceive, and use external things like money in such a way, that usually means we're compensating for something else that our soul internally is yearning for. And so we don't have to be aware for this to happen. In fact, this can be totally subconscious. So I'm asking all of us just to be honest, sit down, analyze, and look at our actions. Just say, man, when I posted that, what was I thinking when I typed that caption? Why did I do that? You've got to be honest with yourself, and that's the only way to advance. You can't advance on lies. You've got to advance on truth. And why you do a thing will always be more important than what you did itself. Why you do a thing will always be more important than the thing you did itself. Because anyone can do the right thing for the wrong intentions, and that's with anything. For example, wouldn't you say it's good to be married? Yeah, I think so. I personally, I think it's good to marry. But what was our motive for being married, though? If our motive for being married is of ill intention, then so is our marriage. So, not saying it can't be turned around, because it can, but that would take the motive to change. And unfortunately, that doesn't happen all the time. So we have to look at our intentions for using the money the way we are and get to the root and see if our motives are correct. If it isn't, that's okay. Like, it's not like a bashing thing. It's totally fine. All we have to do is make up our mind at that moment and strive to stop acting the way we do with money. Set goals, whatever helps you make up your mind. And as long as we stay strong, brothers, and as long as we forgive ourselves for our mistakes and learn from them, then we're going to be all right. But at the end of the day, we have to get to the root of why. That's the only way you're going to be able to solve it. You got to get to the root of why. Understanding why you do something will be much easier when you're trying to stop doing it. So we have to get to the root of it on a personal level, because everyone's different. So not everyone is compensating for something else. So you're like, there may be no void unfulfilled. Everyone's different. But we have to strive to learn the motive and be honest with ourselves, because understanding the motive of something, whether it's good or bad, will aid us in our striving to move forward and improve. So, in conclusion, we know the importance of putting money over above things in life. We know the consequences of putting money on a pedestal, and we know how we can prevent or stop chasing money practically in a practical manner. So that's what I wanted to drive home today, brothers. I hope it helped. But for now, that will be it for this part or segment.